Good morning. Good morning. See if anybody's gonna pop up while I'm on here. And if not, no worries. I'm still gonna get work done. I go for about 40 minutes or so. And then I gotta get it going because I have to go to a training, and then I have to finish building a website thing today. So we have 4 covers we're working on right now. So we have Spawn, Old Man Logan, New Mutants, and then we have a Deadpool. So the way that this is going to work, I have 4 people. I have Spawn. I'm going to have a Wolverine. I'm going to have a Deadpool, and then I'm going to have an Omega Red. So that's the order, and they're all black and white, so they should go pretty quick. I'm going to try to knock these out between today and Thursday. That is the goal. And I should, like I said, I should be able to knock this out pretty quick. What's up, Gambling? Yeah, I'm going to be working on some stuff today. I'm going to start with this Spawn cover first, because it tends to be the easiest one to do. So give you an idea of what I'm working on. This is the mock-up for the Spawn piece. So we're doing Gunslinger Spawn this morning. So we're knocking that down. Set that up and go for it. Tool-wise, how are you doing this morning? What's up, Fox? Yeah, I got to get cracking because I have a nice little Spawn piece I'm going to be working on here. We're doing Gunslinger Spawn this morning. That's the start. Four covers. It's going pretty good. I mean, it's a Monday. Just trying to adjust to this daylight savings time. How about you? Goes belt in place. Yeah, it threw my whole system out of whack. So I honestly, because I had a long week last week, I was out a lot last week. I was playing catch up, so I woke up on Saturday around 1 o'clock p.m. Now, mind you, I went to bed probably around like midnight. Um, but my body, just because I had had a lot of late nights, had been like 4 nights in a row. It was like super late, and so my body was catching up. So Sunday when I woke up, well, let me set the clock back. Um, Saturday night, I ended up staying up until almost 3 o'clock in the morning, and then I woke up at 6. So I was all out of whack. And then this morning, I had to wake up at 5 something, and that kind of threw me off a little bit. But no worries, I'm back in the swing of things. What are you up to this morning? Anything fun, I hope? Up here. Yeah, I've been working on my card set, but I've had to take a little siesta from that to take care of a lot of great clients. Got a lot of good stuff, and I like that because it keeps me busy, on bigger projects. Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's really good that your son enjoys that. That's definitely a plus. Man, they got spring break early. one of the counties that I work in, their spring break's not until the end of April. Sorry, end of March. Oh, okay. You're in Florida as well. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm in. If you're familiar with like the Port St. Lucie area, that's where I'm at. What's up, Chris? Okay, so you're on the West Coast. Gotcha. Yeah, it's good for the kiddos to get out and re adjust their brains a little bit. I'm actually glad that your kids have this week off, considering that it is daylight savings. That doesn't impede on their schooling. That's actually a pretty brilliant idea. I don't know why like all counties of Florida, don't even or counties in general that have daylight savings time don't consider that. That's actually really smart. I'm glad that you have a son that's actually into art because I think that's a very good outlet. Any art, whether it be dancing, music, anything like that. I think that's really good for them. It's healthy. I'll never say that sports aren't healthy either because that's another good outlet. But I think the arts kind of calm the mind a little bit and make you have to sit down and think, figure out problems. Yeah, I agree. I agree. It's kind of weird. Years ago, my wife was like, "You should do like coloring books. Like, you should do custom coloring books." And I never thought anything of it. I mean, I had done it when I was much younger because I was like, I miss those days when I used to have coloring books and I just used to sit. And sure enough, probably like 2 years later, we had like this Copic marker shortage because coloring books became the thing for a little while. It was crazy. But I mean, the fact that, those old school things that you and I used to do when we were kids now are, relevant again. The whole paint and sip kind of thing. What's up, Fecko? Um, it's just relaxing. I've just been invited to work at a gallery, or not work at a gallery, but show some of my stuff at a gallery, and we're going to start doing art classes there, whether they be family related or they be like just groups. But we found that that's a niche. That's a niche that's really needed. And if you do it for a relatively, inexpensive cost and it's in a good area, it tends to work out really well. What's up, Patch? Um, yeah, it's just finding the right stuff. That's the hardest part. It's just getting a group of people that really want to do that kind of stuff. But you find that more adults actually need that than they realize. So my wife and I have decided. So she's a therapist and she's a couples counselor. And the one thing that we found is that a lot of couples just don't know how to really like connect because they're so busy. It's hard. And this kind of takes the thinking out of it. They just gotta get to have some time together, which is important. So um, we're gonna co-host doing this program. Let's see if I like this. don't know if I'm liking it already or not. I feel like it's too far away. I don't like it. That's too far away. Yeah, you take care. Have yourself a great one. You guys have a great spring break. Alrighty, let's get this moving. Because I was rushing and I don't like rushing, so I gotta go back and fix some stuff. All right, so the goal is to try to get these pencils down. So I don't know if we're gonna pull this, but we're gonna make it work. I think I'm just gonna go with the blue pencil as soon as I find it. Oh, there it is. I'll have to mark that pencil side now. Like, I love drawing Spawn, but this is just not clicking. I don't like it. It's close. I think today I'm going to have to go get myself one of those gummy erasers. Gotta go take my butt to Michael's and go take care of some business. So the good part is that all of these are black and white, so they're all just going to be straight up ink. So the time is going to be cut down, so almost about half. So that's good. And I think I'm going to start offering two options moving forward. I think I'm going to do like headshot pieces. That'll be for like a little lower cost, and then I'm going to do I'll do these really larger body pieces. For a different price. I think I'll still keep them at the 75 for now. I think you get a good value for your price. I really do. I think 75 is reasonable. And then I should, I don't know if I put it up or not, but I'm going to do a cover and a sketch set that I'm going to do. I'm not going to do a lot of them because, I mean, it's double artwork that people get. But I think if I do that, it'll be fun. So you'll get a random sketch to go with your artwork. It'll be kind of neat. Okay. Yeah, I think getting him a little bit bigger is the better way to go. Yeah, whoever I get up in here, I'm going to make sure I promote them. Definitely got to give some props to my buddy Chris. He's the one that got me onto Whatnot, which is really cool. Very, very helpful. I don't even think I would have been on this platform had it not been for him talking to me about it. I've been on here since last June. And it's been a weird ride. I mean, the only time I think I think it's really good. I think for me it's cool because I get to like walk through my process and how I do things. You know, you can't do that when you're like on Artist Alley or something like that. People can kind of catch glimpses of what you're doing, but they can't see all the little tricks and all that stuff. So I think it's good. Plus, I mean, it's a different art community altogether. I mean, you get so many different people in here. But I love it. I mean, the amount of different collectors I've actually ran into through here is kind of crazy. Sorry, I got to get some reference material up here. It has actually been a fun ride. I can't complain about it. But right now, my goal is to finish my 1,000 card. Please try again. My goal is to do my 1,000 cards. Yeah, here's the thing. I mean, I don't know how old you are or whatnot, but you get to a point in your art life, and the longer you go, that you're going to see this happen. But you get to a point where you just stop worrying about the perfection piece. You just can't do that all the time. It tends to it'll hinder you, honestly. So you just got to go and stop that mess. Because there's got to be a point where you just have to be like, I really gotta just, cut that out. Oh, there it is. And oh shoot, I don't know what my path. See if this is it. I don't think I've created a passcode for this. Hang on one second. I'm just trying to see something real quick here. Okay, that's not the passcode. Go. Cool. That's good. Okay. Racing means a long time pushing. Oh, okay. Yeah, so I mean, in your case, yours is all about like planning. That's the big thing. That's hard. I mean, case in point, I mean, I do a lot of what we call string art. So for example, this is stuff that I do in addition to this stuff. So I'll make things like this, you know. This is that one. Yeah, that's the only one I have. I think I have a picture of. Let me see if I got a better picture of it. Yeah. So okay. So I get the fact of the planning because like when you do something like that, you have if you start putting nails in places for like this, you're messing with the quality of the wood. So in your case, it's the same thing. So planning is the biggest part that you're going to need that you have to do ahead of time. Kind of figure out where you want to go with it. Because I get how materials can get destroyed and all that kind of good stuff. There is something to be said about over planning when it comes to that stuff, but I'd rather do like what a carpenter does. You measure twice, cut once. And that's important. I mean, but the other part is like since you're doing sewing work, you always make that pattern beforehand. So you do your tests on your bad fabric. So go over to what if you have like well we don't have Joanne Fabrics anymore, but if you go over to like Michaels or even Walmart, go see if they have some of that clearance fabric and use that. Make your templates all out of that, and then go to work. Because it's much better to make mistakes on cheap stuff than it is the really expensive vintage kind of looking stuff. Yeah, I just found that like I'll do like a lot of my mock-ups and stuff like that on my computer, or I will go ahead and get some like cheap paper, even graph paper. I'll go back to even old school stuff. And my goal is to get all of those pieces in place and done, and get it to a point where I feel like I'm very happy with it, and then I will just hammer in and knock out the final pieces. Oops. Put the bullets and stuff in here so I know where this stuff is going. Yeah, I mean, I used to even do um yeah, I mean, honestly, um there are all sorts of techniques and softwares that you can use. And there is something to be said about investing in that kind of stuff. Even when you go online, you'd be like low cost XYZ software. Just do that. And then that way you can make your life 20 times easier. For example, like myself, I use a program called Adobe Illustrator, and I use that for making my logos. I use that for making like custom text and stuff like that. And then I'll use it specifically when I'm doing my string art, because it's very accurate and I can get very symmetrical looking things. Drawing your stuff out and then putting it into a program to clean it up, that's a way to do it too. Yeah, that's a good application for sure. Yeah, I mean, it's very much in that same realm as using all of those Adobe software. So that's actually a really good move. Yeah, whatever you can do to kind of you know curve down the time, do it. But at the same time, be careful that you don't get like too reliant on that stuff. You still need to make sure you got those skills, in your back pocket. I only say that because what ends up happening, and I've had this happen to myself, so I'm going to give you some helpful advice. You start going to the tools that kind of simplify things, and then when you try to shift back to using some of those older methods because the technology that you have isn't doing what you needed to do, you have to play catch up. So make sure that you're always, swapping between the two. So I didn't ask. I mean, how are things for you here on Whatnot? Are you doing pretty good on here? Are you finding success on this platform? Okay. How often are you on doing lives? Okay. All right. So at least you got a consistent schedule. So that's perfect. Yeah, I mean that's the one thing that I mean I've told that about anything that I've whenever I talk to people about doing online presence, especially with shows. I mean, got to think of it kind of like TV. People like regularity. They're creatures of habit. Yeah, I mean, I used to try to do YouTube for a while. I didn't like it because there was a lot of like prep and all this kind of stuff. The platform was not really conducive to bringing in a community. That's the difference between this and YouTube. YouTube was it was like a game, and that game is not fun for a lot of people. Whereas with this, you actually get to talk to people that are like minded, and then some people you just never would have thought that you would run into. Yeah, I mean that's a whole it's a whole different animal. It's hard for a lot of people, and not everybody's made for it. You have to basically be a personality. Whereas on this, I feel like you don't have to do all that. You have to just be yourself, and people buy into you as the person. Okay, so I was gonna say that didn't make a lot of sense how they set that up. Look up Brett Booth because he's got the best one of this character. You're afraid of the internet trolls. Well, I think this makes you feel like you're really in front of people doing like normal stuff. I think that's the difference. Sorry, I'm trying to look for a picture so I don't mess this up. Yeah, I mean, it's almost like you're doing well, not almost, you're doing live performance. You're just showing who you are, and that's fun. All right, I'm just gonna go back to what I had. Go back to this guy. I have a reference here. I just gotta find it. Yeah, very, very different. I am actually in Florida. How about yourself? Oh wow. So you must be enjoying all that fun cold weather. Yeah, I will pass on that. Are you born and raised in that area, or is that just someplace that you ended up just landing? Oh, that's cool. That's much better. Oh, I need to finish drawing the jacket. What am I doing here? I'm slipping. I'm just gonna have to. Why don't I just look at my reference? Because I drew the damn thing. I don't know why I'm making it so hard. There you are. Okay, so it's on the inside of his. So I'll push the lapel outward. That'll work. Oh, that's cool. That makes it fun. Honestly, I don't think I've ever been up there. I've been in a lot of northern states, but I don't think I've ever been there. Oh, you do, huh? Wow, small world. Were you there for like going to the theme park kind of thing, or you got family up in that area too? Oh, damn, that's pretty awesome. Holy cow, that's really neat. Well, somebody's a Disney head. They love it. Now, are you saying it was a lot as far as like cost, or just a lot as far as like the whole atmosphere? Yeah, I can definitely say I'm not a Disney fan like I used to be. I am more of a I like Universal Studios. That's my jam. But even Universal's getting kind of crazy. Oh, that's very cool. Yeah, Florida is insane. I'm not gonna lie. It's a lot. And I can only imagine, doing a trip like that would have been like it's a bit of a marathon sometimes. Mm. Well, yeah, I mean, in Orlando's actually, I mean, it's getting worse than it used to be, and they're building up stuff like crazy up there. I mean, I enjoy Orlando. I don't go up there as much as I used to because I used to do a lot of conventions and stuff up in that area. But yeah, it's a little nuts. I would say like the our traffic up there in Orlando is pretty bad now in certain parts. But that happens when you grow. I mean, Florida went through this big boom, 2020 to 2021. Like it was insane how many people started popping up in Florida, and especially in my area. Oh my God, it was ridiculous. And it wasn't just from the north; it was also from the south. We had a lot of people coming from South Florida all the way up here, and they'll commute. Yeah, I mean, the problem with Florida, I mean, they have they have the ability to have a solid infrastructure here, but they're always playing catch up. That's the problem with Florida. If you notice whenever you come back or whenever you're driving through there, they're always building stuff because they're playing catch up. They don't. I feel like Florida does not plan ahead properly. And two, when we do build stuff, we're not. They just started getting into the ways of doing building overnight. They would usually do a lot of their work during the day, where that's a problem for city traffic. You could do a majority of the work at night, block off people, and you can get a lot more done. They realized that it took them a long time. Like I used to see it done in DC all the time. People would never even see what the hell was going on. Stuff would get done so fast. Um, the other part about Florida is that we've had lots of delays because we have had bad contractors and stuff like that. We had a road that took almost 5 years to do an expansion on. 5 years, literally, to widen a road because somebody messed up on the plans and messed up a couple of things. Yeah, it was wild. And we're talking maybe about a 2 mile stretch of road. It wasn't even that long. It was insane. We had another road that took another 5 years to get done because of like poor city planning. Yeah, it's not. It's crazy. They had a road closed for 6 years. I wouldn't even say it was a road. It was a turnoff. So in order to get to this one road, you used to be able to like go down this bend, like go down a side road. They shut that down, and it got so bad that the plants, like the grass, is starting to come through the asphalt. And people are like, "Why aren't you fixing this? You're putting all this money into this other road that you guys haven't finished yet. I mean, you guys have literally been working on this forever. Come on, get it together, people." I've never seen people get that mad about stuff like that, but I understand why. I mean, it's just money being wasted. However, they've built a bridge across the Indian River, and the Indian River is a long, stretch from one side of the mainland to the island, and they've built that bridge in less than 3 years. An entire bridge. They built a bridge over some wetlands in less than like 3 years as well. We're talking miles of road. But that's the problem. If you don't get the right people in place, that stuff will never happen. But that all said, I mean, I love being here in Florida. I mean, I've lived here all my life, and I cannot complain about what I have here because I love being here. I really don't think I'd want to live anywhere else. Maybe Texas. Maybe Texas. Well, crazy hot and definitely it's very different. I can definitely say the food over there in Texas is fantastic. I like the culture over there because I mean I haven't seen very many mean people over in Texas, mind you, but I like the environment. I don't really care so much for the dry heat, but I should be okay considering where I'm living. That heat is just insane. Oh shoot, I'm gonna have to cut off here in a little bit because I gotta go. Yeah, I would never. I haven't been there long enough to know that because I don't. I've just visited, so I think as a actual resident of that area, I think it would just be different for me. I'd understand that a lot more. That's hilarious. That is funny. Well, I did get one culture shock while I was in Texas. This was weird. So literally in Florida, you can call up about any issues that are going on, and you'll have police show up. So I was in Texas with my then girlfriend, now wife, and somebody busted into our car while we were in a movie, um, and call them up. We're like, okay, we're waiting for the cops to get there. And they're like, yeah, nobody gets called up. We just do a report, and you come and get the report. I'm like, what? In Florida, we got a cop out there immediately. They're taking fingerprints, all that kind of good stuff. Nope, just doing a report. That's it. That's all you get. I was very shocked by that. I mean, that was the most violating thing I've ever had happen. Then I had to drive another 30 minutes away back to my hotel with glass on my butt. And that was just, it was infuriating because it was a rental car too. So I had to go and tell my boss. Somebody busted into our car and then also took one of my coworkers' tools. It was a lot. And I had a cool boss because he was like, "Yeah, it's not your fault. Somebody else did it." And the company ended up paying for the guy's tools. So the guy was just pissed off because he lost his tools. But other than that, he was good. But that was a shocker going to Texas and having that happen, especially when you come from a city where you do have very active cops. But I guess because they they prioritize um, certain things over than others, they're like, I'm not doing all that. We're not coming out there. And how did that go? Hopefully they showed up for that one. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah, I don't know. State's just very weird. But if Florida keeps on getting crazy as far as like its economics, I'm going to probably have to be like, I'm out because I can't afford to be here. All right. Well, I think I'm going to go ahead and cut this off here, and I will be back on tomorrow. They don't have state tax. All right. So if you want to jump on here tomorrow, I'll be back tomorrow, and I'm going to wrap this guy up, and then I'm going to start up another one. Um, but it was great talking to you. Yeah, if you want to bookmark that show, I think I'm going to be back on around like 8:30 tomorrow. So feel free to jump on. I'll definitely go ahead and follow your page because I'm kind of curious to see what you do. Take care.